The Shroud of Turin. Science cannot explain this cloth. The Shroud of Turin is a linen cloth measuring approximately 4 by 1 meters, kept in the Cathedral of St. John the Baptist in Turin, Italy. On its surface is a faint brownish image, visible as a negative image, like a photograph, of a bearded man with long hair and apparent wounds. The wounds are consistent with Roman crucifixion. Puncture marks around the head consistent with a crown of thorns. Marks on the wrists and ankles consistent with nail wounds. A wound on the side consistent with a spear thrust. And marks on the back consistent with flogging. The first secure historical record of the shroud appears in the 1350s, when it was displayed in Liège, France. Its history before that date is disputed. Defenders of its authenticity have proposed various theories about how it reached France from the ancient Near East, including a path through Constantinople, where Byzantine records describe a burial cloth of Christ with an image. Critics maintain that no credible historical record places the shroud in existence before the 14th century, and that this is the most significant single argument against authenticity. In 1988, 3 independent laboratories in Oxford, Tucson, and Zurich conducted radiocarbon dating of small samples taken from the corner of the shroud. All 3 independently dated the sample to between 1260 and 1390 CE. This result was widely reported as definitive proof that the shroud was a medieval forgery. The Vatican accepted the findings without officially changing the shroud's status as a devotional object. Most scientists considered the question resolved, but the image itself remained unexplained. In 1978, the Shroud of Turin Research Project, STURP, conducted a 5-day intensive examination of the cloth using multiple scientific instruments. Their findings, published in peer-reviewed journals, established several remarkable properties of the image. The image contains no paint, dye, ink, or applied substance. The coloring is entirely superficial, existing only in the outermost fibers of the linen threads, not penetrating into the cloth. The image shows a 3-dimensional information encoding. Its brightness values correspond precisely to the distance between the cloth and a human body. The 3-dimensional information in the shroud image is particularly puzzling. When the image is processed by a VP8 image analyzer, a machine designed to convert brightness values into physical height, it produces a coherent 3-dimensional relief of a human face and body. No known painting or photograph produces this effect when processed this way. A painting or photograph does not encode distance information in this manner. The implication is that the image was not created by an artist's technique, but by some process in which actual distance from an object determined the intensity of the marking. 1988 carbon dating has itself been challenged. In 2005, researcher Raymond Rogers published a paper in the peer-reviewed journal Thermochimica Acta arguing that the sample tested in 1988 was taken from a section of the cloth that had been repaired in the medieval period. Specifically, that the corner from which the sample was cut had been rewoven with newer threads following damage. If the sample contained a mixture of 1st century original fibers and 14th century repair fibers, the carbon date would fall between the two, exactly around 1260 to 1390 CE. No scientific hypothesis has successfully explained how the image was formed. Proposals have included vaporgraph theory, where chemicals from a body produced a vapor that marked the cloth, scorching by radiant energy during a hypothetical resurrection event, flash photography before photography was invented, and various forms of chemical reaction. Each proposal has been tested or analyzed and found to reproduce only some characteristics of the image, not all. The formation mechanism, whatever it was, remains outside the toolkit of modern science. The Shroud of Turin is either the most significant artifact in human history or the most successful medieval forgery ever created by a forger we cannot identify using a technique we cannot replicate. Neither conclusion is comfortable. The image has properties no known process can explain. The carbon dating suggests it is medieval. Both things appear to be true simultaneously, which means at least one of them is wrong. The shroud remains in Turin, protected behind bulletproof glass, periodically displayed to millions of pilgrims, still refusing to answer the question of what it is.